Hey, beautiful souls. I hope you're having a great day. And I just want to jump in and do a quick video on adrenal fatigue and the three different stages, or burnout, otherwise known as. There's three different stages, and they're not necessarily distinct, but you may recognize the signs, symptoms of which stage that you're in just from listening to this. And it will let you know exactly kind of where you're at and potentially what could be coming if you do not take care of this. And I don't mean that, in a awful or fearful way, but it's really important to know these signs and symptoms because the more awareness that you have around these particular things, the quicker that you can calm your nervous system, the quicker that you can put things in place to definitely take care of your body at a higher level. So the first stage is hypervigilance. This is when you notice that your nervous system is really, really on edge. It might be somebody walks around the corner and you notice that you're extra jumpy within your body. It might be that somebody says something or somebody drops something and you jump a lot. It will be overall tension within your body. Most people experience this as shallow breathing, a feeling like they can't relax their body. They can't stop. Their minds often racing, like overthinking. They might be finding that they're starting to experience things like insomnia, like waking up between 1 and 3 a.m., not being able to go back to sleep. They may find that they're constantly rushing or feeling this sense of pressure or feeling this sense of like overwhelm, like I've got to get all these things done. Basically, it's living in that fight or flight state, but very continuously. And you may notice, like I mentioned, that you're a little bit more nervy or a little bit more jumpy than normal. Often it can take quite a while to go to sleep when this is in its first stage. So you might be laying there and going, gosh, I feel tired but wired, but not 100% sure of what's actually going on there. And generally just a lot of overthinking and a lot of things starting to kind of, you're just noticing little signs and symptoms. You might notice, starting to feel a little bit dizzy at times, just noticing maybe some sugar cravings, particularly over nighttime. Might notice that you feel a little bit lower in energy around 9 a.m., 8 to 9 a.m. in the morning and between 3 and 5 p.m. And just feeling overall like a sense of maybe even teariness, but just feeling like quite overwhelmed with everything, feeling like you can't stop, you can't breathe, you've got way too much to do, and feeling very overly responsible for everyone around you. So that's kind of like the first stage, the hypervigilance stage. Generally there is a lot of energy, but it's adrenalized energy, if that makes sense. Like you're kind of feeling like you've got to keep pushing, it's generally how we react, particularly in chaos situations or crisis situations, where there's that push, got to get things done, got to take care of things, and it feels like you can't stop, you can't relax, you can't play, like all of those things. It's really operating in that crisis mode, but doing that on a day-to-day basis, even when there is essentially no crisis. But even if there is a crisis, feeling like you kind of can't quite jump off the hamster wheel. Now, second stage is general lethargy. So this is where you start noticing that you're just a bit more tired or fatigued after working out. You might do a workout and then you might come home and just be like, oh my gosh, like I just feel wiped. You may still have enough energy to get through your day. You may still have enough energy to keep going. But you're just noticing you're more fatigued when you wake up in the morning. You're less patient with people, and you're just finding that you're generally just feeling a bit more agitated, perhaps a little bit, angry or frustrated, resentful. Sometimes can be appearing at this particular stage. That can kind of be all through this, but a lot more kind of just a general fatigue and lethargy and a lack of motivation. This is where a lot of people come to me and they're just like, really have to push myself or really have to motivate myself. Like, what do I need to do to motivate myself? And it is when people are starting to notice that they're in this stage, things that they normally used to be able to handle and do quite easily, what they're actually noticing is that they actually have to really kind of push themselves quite a bit to get things done. They can end up in the scroll hole, so So falling into the scroll hole on Facebook or Instagram, feeling tired, knowing that they should get up and go to bed, but maybe continuing to watch the movie because they're too tired to kind of get up and do anything about it. Noticing that things, you're probably not on top of things as much as what you used to be. So you may notice, dishes or like things that maybe you used to handle quite easily, but now they're feeling like more of a chore and more of a task. Sometimes people can kind of start to get into a little bit of robotic stage. This is really kind of some very early, or not early, it's kind of middle warning stages, but some kind of bigger red flags that start to come up when people just feel like they've lost the joy of life. They're no longer enjoying life. And feel like they're kind of looking around at their life going, well, my life is pretty good, but, or I don't know why I'm not happy. So often this can kind of be this particular stage. It's just a general feeling of lethargy, a general feeling of like dullness in your head. Definitely brain fog can be here at this particular stage. It can also be in the other stage as well, particularly if you are in a crisis, because that can be that fight-flight response where it's really hard to think clearly. Because you're constantly in that fight, flight, rush, got to go, can't stop, can't breathe, can't think, the overwhelm, the constant overwhelm. And generally people will feel more and more overwhelmed with the progression of adrenal fatigue or burnout because they feel less and less capable to handle the things that they used to handle quite easily. A lot of self-doubt starts to kick in, a lot of perhaps starting to criticize self or noticing a lot more negativity within yourself as well. So things where maybe you used to be a generally bright, bubbly person, now things are kind of like really annoying you or agitating you or frustrating you and getting on top of you rather than you feeling like you're kind of sailing through your days. Now, the third stage finally is... well, not finally, but the third stage is extreme adrenal burnout. Now, at this point, and any of these stages can last for a period of time as well, depending on how much is kind of going on in your life, how much that you're actually pushing yourself and not allowing yourself to rest. Sometimes people can kind of be in this particular stage, for even up to 2 years, where then finally they get to this last stage, which is one day they wake up and go, oh shit, I actually feel like I can't get out of bed. Now, it's pretty extreme when people get to that point, and recovery can honestly take a whole lot longer, certainly than from the first or the second stage. And basically they feel absolutely unable to keep, to actually function normally at all on any level. It is an absolute struggle to do your hair. It is an absolute struggle to prepare a meal. It's an absolute struggle to get to the shops to even get food to prepare a meal. And generally at this point, people are consuming a lot of caffeine to try and still push through, but wondering why the hell it's not actually working. It's kind of, I describe it like trying to put your foot on the accelerator and there is just nothing left in the tank. It's like the fuel tank is completely empty. You go and you just cannot go. You cannot rally the energy on any level. In the second stage, you can still kind of rally the energy occasionally. It's just becoming a lot more intermittent. So this third stage is very, very, detrimental to well-being. It is detrimental to financial well-being simply because people cannot continue to push through, and generally at this point either need to get sick leave or holiday pay, or need to step back from a lot of their duties and get a lot of support and care at this point. So please, if you're watching this, if you are noticing that you are in the first or the second stage, and certainly if you are in the third stage, you absolutely need some support to get through this. Please reach out to me, send me a message, because it's absolutely vitally important that you know the 4 main key things that you need to move through, how to improve this, because there's a lot's going on emotionally, mentally, physically, and on a spiritual level as well. And when I say spiritual, really on that self-love connection, but it is super, super, super important to know these stages, to be aware of these stages, and sometimes even recovering from adrenal fatigue or burnout can kind of feel like you're walking on a tightrope at times, and you'll know when you start pushing it a little bit too far, you need to come back. simply because some of the symptoms will start to reappear again. So really important to be aware of. Like I mentioned, if you are noticing that you are in any of those stages, please send me a message. Let's have a chat, see where you're currently at, what's going on for you, because often we can be disassociated with our body, not listening to our body, meaning that there can be a whole bunch more going on that we've kind of dismissed and put to the side and said, oh no, it's fine, or we think that it's actually not related. There's a whole bunch that's actually very, very interrelated when it comes to our body and well-being and adrenal fatigue. So have an amazing day. Can't wait to speak with you. And yes, please invite some beautiful women into the group that you feel that this could definitely be helpful for as well. Bye for now.